Well, we've done it. We've done it by buying those commodities
Yep.
whose price is inflated, and we talk about different ways to do that, and it's kind of a perfect segue, right? Because we try to differentiate between our products, and we try to differentiate between investment strategies, and you can buy a copper ETF, you can buy Freeport, you can buy Rio Tinto, or on down the line, right, into the smaller ones, all the way down into the explorers. And we do that in various ways. We make recommendations in Junior Resource Monthly and Junior Resource Trader, and we invest privately in some of those companies as well. So, look, lithium prices this week are hitting like all-time highs again, as the world is realizing that there's not enough to hit all these battery milestones and clean energy milestones. Look at Ford stock, for example, as it offers its lightning and pivots to an electric strategy. And these lithium producers are popping off. We've mentioned critical elements a couple times, but that's one that's back at over $1.50 today. Right before we recorded that, I was able to get people in at 30 cents with warrants at 45 cents that don't even expire for another couple of months. And so, yeah, that's the benefit of private deals, and you've done it with other companies as well. And so we should just talk about that for a second, because we both offer services that get people connected to companies that are raising money. And of course, you have to be accredited to do that. That means you either made $200,000 the past couple of years, or $300,000 with a spouse, or you have $1 million net worth, basically, and then you can buy shares directly from the company, and that often comes with advantages. Either it's priced at a discount to the market, or you get a warrant, which you can view as a sweetener to buy more down the road without any risk. And so, if you can buy $1.50 lithium company for 45 cents and sell the shares immediately, that's a good work if you can get it, especially if you can do that commensurately with lithium prices hitting highs. And it's not just lithium. Copper was back above 450 today, I think, is showing strength. And so we have deals coming up. There's one we're going to offer to private investors soon. That's in those lines, a PGE deal that has incredible upside, that is just really at the beginning of its fundraising life cycle. So I know you've had success with private placements as well, and the money that I've been able to make from those is what allows you to go to the next level, not just a salary or not just an income from owning a business, but then making 3, 4, 10 times your money returns on some of these plays twice if you have warrants. So I'll let you talk about the private placements for a little bit.
Yeah, no, look, a real world example. You have an oil deal right now that is a 10-cent deal. It's a private company. I believe the valuation is something like $2 million at this level. Is that accurate?
1.8 Canadian, yeah.
1.8 Canadian. Real world example. If I allocate $10,000 into that deal, in roughly 6 months' time, approximately, give or take, and correct me if I'm wrong because it's your deal, Nick, this will IPO likely around the 40-cent level. So my $10,000, if I just sit tight for a couple of months, 6 months, 2 quarters, it'll be $40,000. Now, that's not the only upside. That's just going to be the IPO price, right? Then the marketing starts. Then the work really starts. Then the news flow continues. And don't let us catch another wave of energy profits the way that you caught it the last year and a half. Because if that's the case and they're able to execute on their business model, this is a stock that has the potential to be $1.50, $2, $3 stock, right? And so if you're allocating more than $10,000 into any space, it behooves you. You'd be a fool to not spend $3,000 for either Nick's service or my service for access to these deals, because you're going to make it back in spades. Now, not every deal is going to work out that way. Some will come with a kicker like a warrant. Other deals, maybe you'll make 50 to 100%. But when you're able to have the kind of network that Nick and I have worked so hard for over a decade, that gives you access that personally for me, it took me years and years to be able to put together and be able to check that accredited investor box and be able to get in the sandbox, as I always used to say, to be able to write those checks on such advantageous terms. And what allows that for us is the network that we've built up and the early access that we have. There's you had a great piece that everybody should go read. I believe it was for Daily Profit Cycle. Is that correct, Nick? And it talked about, newsletter writers talking the talk, but not really walking the walk. Having private placement services that are really crowdfunding services that aren't for accredited investors, where oftentimes the company doesn't even know that these guys and gals are pitching their deal because it's not really a private deal. You're not getting access to anything other than some newsletter writer pointing at things that you could find on your own. That's not access. That's not a network. That's gimmicky. And it's whatever, to each their own. But our business model isn't that. It's real access. It's real deals. We're proud of the deals and how we vet them. Doesn't mean everyone works out. Got a pretty damn good hit rate.
No, yeah, certainly everyone doesn't work out. But when you're making those multiple returns, they pay for all the ones that don't. That's the nature of speculative investing and private placements. And the deals that we closed last year in my private placement service, they had an average return of over 100% each. And we lost, in the case of one, all our money. And so, that's how it unfolds sometimes. But like I say, that doesn't negate the fact that, we buy shares for a couple of $100,000 and have made millions. And so, and have warrants still to buy more. And, you mentioned the sandbox. Not everybody's allowed in. I mentioned the velvet rope, and that's not our velvet rope. That's Uncle Sam saying that. And it's not that I agree with that because, who is Uncle Sam to say what's a good investment for anyone, right? And when you can go out there and buy penny stocks in a retail brokerage or whatever it is. So anyway, my beliefs don't matter. The law is that you got to make $200,000 or have $1 million net worth. And fact of the matter is, a lot of newsletter writers just simply don't have that, right? That's why I say that they're playing dress up. They're not allowed in the sandbox. And so you got to get access.
Fun, but not with money.
I mean, that's right. Exactly. So anyway, check out our services, Hodge Family Office, Junior Resource Insider. He mentioned an oil deal that's open. If you get in by I think it's the 21st of January, you'll have time. And then another big deal coming in the PGE space. So stay tuned for that.
It's free money, 10 cents, 40 cents. And then maybe higher. I don't know how much more I can possibly simplify it. I'm a pretty simple guy, I like to say. I like to make things as simple as possible. It's free money. Y'all can take it if you want it. Let's pivot back. Let's talk about the dollar. We had a pretty pronounced move lower, right? It breached 96 and it went right through 95. And right now it's hitting, that 94.82 level and flirting with 95 again. I personally don't think it's sustained. I think it's an opportunity to buy dollars, as crazy as that sounds. Eventually, everybody knows how I feel about dollars and most fiat currencies. They'll go to their intrinsic value, which is paper. But in the short term, I actually think there's an opportunity there. And I was encouraged by the fact that it didn't take the dollar coming back down to that 94.75, 94.82 level in order for it to breach that 1800 level again. It actually went up just a tad bit before that. So it kind of front ran, the dollar in that aspect. What thoughts on the dollar?
What's the opportunity you see?
I think we're back at 96 here soon and maybe even 97. I see geopolitical tensions. I see everything that's going on in, with Russia and the Ukraine and Kazakhstan. And, I think capital is rotating out of tech. And I think capital is rotating out of foreign currencies. And again, I think the dollar is the cleanest dirty shirt in the laundry basket, right? I think if you compare it to anything else, probably the best thing going right now as far as currencies go.
Yeah, and you got the Fed saying that they're going to slow the rate of purchases and tighten hawkish talk or whatever, which should be, strengthen the dollar. We'll see when GDP starts coming out, but for now that looks like the move.
I like it. And I also think the move is to get ready for higher gold prices. And I think the move is some of those better names that have been thrown out, babies thrown out with the bathwater. Start nibbling. I know I've been saying that for a couple of months, but rather be a couple of months earlier than a couple of months late. You saw it with the uranium space. There's
a lot of cheap names out there. I mean, even big names. I mean, I bought some Kirkland Lake today, or at least put a bid in. I don't know if it was filled and on down the line, right? You see deals still getting done. You see producers still not getting the proper market valuations that they should relative to the earnings and the production that they're posting. And so, especially if yields continue to shy away from their recent highs, I think the climate is very good for gold. And so, yeah, I'm getting more bullish there for sure.
Good.